新年快乐，万事如意. Welcome to this year's edition of OCBC Securities Chinese New Year Market Insights. And of course, for those of you who has been with us before, the people on screen with me right now is no stranger to you guys. We have Mr. Samuel Wong, trading strategist from OCBC Securities, and Miss Helen Wong, our Fengshui master and experts in all things related to Fengshui and Bazi with us today. And of course, Sam will be covering the market insights, what are the technicalities, and Helen will of course be covering the unique side of Feng Shui, how Feng Shui, Bazi, and trading, there are more intersections in the road than you would imagine. And of course, this is the third year since we have moved into this COVID and pandemic period. We have seen the ups and the downs over the last 3 years. So I'm very interested to find out. I mean, we have seen how countries have slowly started to open up, and countries that are traditionally quite conservative has already come out to say, hey, we are now inviting people into our countries, you know, in a bid to boost up their economy. So I'm very interested to find out from the Feng Shui perspective, right? What can we say about this year? And of course, maybe a look back at 2022 that has just passed us. Helen.
Sure. 2022, we have the water tiger. Okay, so that has been a very unsettling year for a lot of people, right? So at first we were thinking, oh, tiger must be, you know, something that is thriving and all that. Yes, I'm sure that some sectors has been thriving, but with the height of interest rate, and also Russia decided to go to war with Ukraine, it's been a very, very tiring year for a lot of people, where businesses, where sectors that involve this area. Moving forward, when we look at 2023, we can then now take consolation in knowing that relationship building is on the way, because the year of the rabbit is a peach blossom star. So how's that?
Peach blossom star, but just now you mentioned last year was the year of the water tiger, then this year is
water rabbit.
Water rabbit. Blossom star. Tell us more about that.
More like 桃花运
relationship.
Yeah, anything to do with relationship, because traditionally we call it 桃花星, right? But the thing is, you know, it's always misconstrued that this 桃花星is only about romance, right? Yes, in some way, but it depends on how you like to use this form of energy. You can always use this energy for, you know, scoring more points, you know, in your social media or personal branding or business branding. You know, in the case, you know, here with Zihao and Sam, I'm sure they're doing this very well.
So we can finally cross the 1 million followers mark for myself, lah.
I'm sure we will, when we should be crossing. Yeah, that's right.
Alright. So Sam, I mean, hearing from Helen, we have a good sense of how relationship building could be imperative this year, and last year was a little bit of a challenging year. So maybe you can give us a recap for 2022 and what to look forward to in 2023.
I'm with Helen. For the last 3 years, we have been in some form of the lockdown, shutdown, circuit breakers for most of the economy in the world. The worst sector hit were probably like the airline, the hospitality, sector else. But again, what we are more concerned is also the major market indices like the US, the Europe, even to the Asia as well. They move lower between 20 to 40 or even 50% lower. And that is not all. The Purchasing Manager Index, that is what we call as PMI, has been very disappointing since the COVID period. It has been dipping below the growth level of 50. Simply to say, everybody is trapped within this closeness of the economy. We want it to be open. But the good news is, back in late 2021, US, Europe start to open up the economies. And Asia is also not following too far behind. But the third quarter of 2022, we saw Japan, Taiwan and Hong Kong also started to open up.
So from the Feng Shui perspective, Helen, is China the way to go for us?
Of course. Like when we look at the flying star chart for 2023, we're seeing this star number 9, right, residing in the north sector. So when we look at China, we look at Russia, we look at anything up north, we're looking at this region. So my personal take, looking at the chart, is it is a very good time for us to focus, or rather, look at this area that we think has gone through so much distress, right, because of the war and the shutdown and what have you. And it gave this opportunity and window for us to consider our investment in this region. So yes, I would say that come 2024, we will probably have more optimism if we tread well in 2023.
We can expect, or rather the street expect, a potential fund flow of US $2.5 trillion.
That's
right?
a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, that I can dream of.
I am shifting.
You are shifting.
I'm shifting.
The $2.5 trillion could be potentially moving into the Chinese space, and for that, Chinese stock might have a potential, to edge up 20% from where we are seeing right now. That is what the street expect.
Excellent. So today is bonus. Not only do we talk about 2023, still got insights to 2024.
Yeah, we're jumping ahead of time. That is the work of Helen.
So, of course, we have talked about how relationship building, traveling, China reopening. But I'm curious because we have always been reminded by governments or by experts that recession is coming. Or some even say recession is here.
I thought recession's already started.
Yeah, that's what some people are saying, and the other side is like it's coming. So I don't have a sense. So maybe Sam, you can help us.
What do you think, Sam? Because this thing about recession and inflation, they usually tie together, right?
I simply can read the two of your mind. So after we talk about reopening, we're simply talking about the next theme, recession. But again, this theme has not yet to happen. So basically, we have to understand what makes a recession. We have a bundle of events in 2022 that's not that friendly. We have the hyperinflation, that's the galloping inflation. We have the very uncompromised interest rate from the Feds. We have the Russia-Ukraine war, which you just mentioned. All these create uncertainties. When uncertainty continues to build out its base, that gives the market a reason to talk about recessions. But again, how do we define the degree and magnitude of recession? Let's not go too far. If you were to take the largest economy in the world, that's US, US over the past decades since the World War II, they have a number of recessions, but the duration of the recession lasted on average is about 10 months. So after the 10 months, what is going to happen? During this period of time, it's about survival, It's about how well you navigate yourself through this financial storm, the period of uncertainty. You need strong buffer of cash. You need a strong cash balance, to be able to tie through this period of tough time. And also, I probably can have this feeling, Zihao, that you're probably going to shoot to me, since you talk about high cash flow, and companies that potentially could do well. So what are those? Am I right, Zihao?
Exactly. What sectors do you think will likely do well in today's recession period?
Yes.
Let me shoot it to you right now. Utilities, healthcare, consumer staple. Typically, these are the sectors that tend to perform well, when times are bad, Yeah.
So, utilities, healthcare, and what again? Sorry, Sam, the last one?
Consumer staple.
Consumer
你要吃饭的，对不对？
all your consumables, all your fast-moving goods.
Basic essentials, basically.
Yes.
Wow,
So
well said.
Helen, do you think from the Fengshui perspective, is it aligned to what Sam has just mentioned?
Absolutely. 2023 is the year of water and wood element. So needless to say, with water being present, wood become really strong, and wood element represent energy that paved the way for growth. So we're talking about longevity, we're talking about life force, we're talking about food, we're talking about anything that allows one to live well. So yes, I think this would be the growing concern, given the current market strategy where governments are trying to promote, on how we could manufacture food or grow food for that matter.
And this is attributed to the water element since we are in the year of the water rabbit, right?
Water rabbit. So it's the wood element actually. It's the water that's sending its energy to grow wood element. So this is a flexible wood, unlike the tiger year. The tiger year is, like the wood energy we're looking at is like the big tree. Right? It's very sturdy. But this time round, it's very, very flexible.
Wow, I like the word flexible, you know.
Yeah,
Of
so
course, I
see-
gotta go do yoga.
Yoga, yeah.
Okay.
Especially in tough time, we need to be flexible.
Yes,
you know.
correct.
I have two flexible men next to me. That's really good. I hope the environment is also very flexible, right?
So
And the
ha-
market is very flexible.
Yeah. Helen, I'm curious. So, I mean, given that you know, you have just mentioned the elements that are good for us, but do you think we are off to a flying good start, or it's going to be a challenging, slow one before it picks off at the end?
Definitely not a flying good start. If I look at the hexagram for 2023, it's this hexagram that says the judgment. Okay, if you look at it, it says that the beginning is going to be difficult, but then what is easy? This is what it is. And having said so, it means we have to tread really cautiously. There's going to be a lot changes coming from the government policies, country policies, and maybe the world economy. All this information that comes in, as a pool of information is going to shift the current situation. So for those who are not ready, those who haven't done their research or not ready for the change, you're definitely going in for a wild time.
Wild time. I hope everyone go for a WOW, wild time instead,
Wow.
right? So, Sam, I'm curious, right? Now that we have heard from Helen when it comes to what are the sectors that can perform well, coming from your perspective as a trading strategist, could you give us some tips or words of wisdom as to what industry to look out for?
I think, Zihao, Helen, we are still in the midst of the crisis right now, or whether it's a more managed and controlled crisis, for what I see right now, but the uncertainties in the market still lurks around. So it still plays safe, to stick to companies that offer high cash with a stronger track record on its earnings, that you don't have to worry, and lose sleep about it, that the companies are here today and they might not be here tomorrow. So again, we would like to reiterate again on the few sectors is that the utilities, the consumer staples, these are the industry that you have to live on with it, whether there is or no recessions.
Exactly, and I like that it concerns my favorite hobby, which is eating. Eating is recession-proof, right?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, you need your utilities, right? Because you have to charge your phone, you have to turn on the light. And that itself, the utility part is actually the fire element, Sam.
Wow.
Yeah, because we often forget that since we're in a water and wood year, we forget that wood is also the element that drives, fire.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the fuel to fire. So that point is good. That point is very important.
I always love the connection to all the elements, So what do you think, Sam, is the forward-looking stance when it comes to interest rates? Are we still going to feel the pain of the increasing interest rates, or are we going to get some respite, hopefully?
But then it's about striking the balance, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's about striking the balance, because if interest rate is high, that means the interest rate in your bank account is also very high.
Wow.
Exactly.
Well said, Helen.
So let's say you are cash rich and then you're putting your money in deposits, then you're smiling to the bank.
And talking about the interest rate itself, I guess is that nobody likes interest rate to be aggressively high.
Yes.
Stock market doesn't like it as well. That explains why 2022 we saw on average itself the global market, right? Most of the indices they're down between 20 to 40%. On a bigger picture, 90 global central bankers just only in 2022 they move in one direction with one objective.
Did you say 90?
90,
Whoa.
you're right.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. But just to raise interest rate.
Gee.
And the degree and magnitude of the rate hike was about 2001 basis point. This is the fastest and most aggressive interest rate hike accumulation over the last 20 years. And this is simply no joke.
Wow.
Unprecedented. 20 years record. Goodness. So,
but hold on, Zihao.
Okay.
Don't be too negative. This is Chinese New Year mode. Let's talk about something that we can bring a breathing space to our investor, our viewers itself, right? By the fourth quarter of last year, was just not too far away, right? We have three central bankers now. Australia Bank, Bank of Canada, South Korea Bank, they all have raised their interest rate, but on a very less aggressive tone. This is not the end. By the end of November, our good friend Jerome Powell, the US Fed chairman, has also delivered a good and kind message to the market, a level that we can breathe. So what is that? Interest rate will continue to stay, but the aggressive tone of the interest rate hike might get lesser or less aggressive going forward. There is a potential for a rate cut probably in the second half
Rate cut
2023. Wow, are you dealing in the market?
Rate cut.
Make up like football.
Rate cut.
Rate cut like something that we can breathe, something that the market can cheer.
But I mean, we have heard a lot about Jerome. So, Helen, maybe you can tell us, for Jerome Powell, what can we expect from him? Is his 八字aligned or good in the year of the water rabbit?
Okay, interesting. I happened to look into Jerome Powell's 八字, before this, and it looks like that make a lot of sense why in 2022 he went so aggressive with the rate hike. So in 2023 with this water rabbit, which also represent his being more willing to like tone down, go by the books, going more easy, less stress, being more comfortable, going back to tradition. So I do not know in your market, right, when you say tradition, traditionally, how things were being done. Let's now go back to the original book. Is there this?
This has always been a practice of moving in the market here.
Yeah, because that rate hike that went along that way is not that traditional book, isn't it?
Yes, we are talking about a market. Our market has always two sides of view, We can be very aggressive and very hawkish and very uncompromised right now. But going forward in the future, things might change. Helen, you're spot on.
Yeah, so, my take is with his 八字, he seems to be the most stable, among all. So from that action in 2022 and now moving forward to 2023, I think I am in line with what Sam has mentioned earlier, that there is a good chance that, either they maintain or maybe we see a rate cut.
Wow, that would be music to many of our ears, right? Speaking of market influences, I think we have kind of seen in recent years, right, just how important a part social media plays when it comes to investors' minds as well as traders' mindset, right? So we have seen how memes have created cryptocurrencies of their own. We have seen the rise and the fall of major cryptocurrencies over the last year or so. Sam, what do you think holds in the future when it comes to social media, as well as tech stocks, given that tech seems to be one of the key industries that is most heavily impacted by such social media influences?
I guess there's no prize to be given for correct answer. 2022 was a nightmare for the tech stock, the tech market. We're talking about the heavy US tech, the Nasdaq, the Hong Kong Hang Seng Tech as well. Why is it so? So remember what we often share about tech stock are growth stock. So basically for this growth stock concept itself, they are very reliant on on loan, interest, overbearing, high leverage. And having said so, in the event of a rising interest rate environment, the bottom line tend to get affected. When the bottom line tend to get affected, that is where share prices will tend to reflect the reality of it. So, which is why 2022 was a nightmare for most of the share prices for the Nasdaq or even the Hang Seng stock or even the technology stock as a whole. In 2022, the big giant tech company in the world, we are talking about tech company that have got huge reputation itself, right? The total combined market cap itself, they lost about close to US $3 trillion in market cap because of the nature of
3 trillion. But so Helen, what's your take, given that is tech stock the way to go for the year of the water rabbit?
I think looking at the water and wood element is definitely not supporting the matter energy at all. Okay, so because we look at the tech stock under the matter element, there's going to be a lot of changes, maybe new policies and ways, that come in and put in certain measures, especially when you're looking at the cryptocurrencies, isn't it? Like there are new measures, countries are involved, they're becoming more aware about, what they should do about it in that sense because of what happened in 2022 in the market. So if you ask me in this area, I would think that many changes. Like we say, the beginning is going to be tough, yeah, until they put in certain measures to stabilize the market. So I would take a step back and watch.
Step back and watch.
Yes.
That's
And
how
for
it-
that, let me hold you guys take a step forward as well, you know, because we mentioned year 2022 itself was a year of interest rate hike, you know. The market was down because of interest rate. And we mentioned very specifically is that, I think it's not me mentioning, you know, it's the street expectation, is that they expect that, hey, very likelihood or there's a chance that 2023 we might see a Fed pivoting, a rate cut by when? 2023. So if that is the case, so probably 2023 will be a time that you need to monitor the market very closely.
Excellent. So, I mean, we have heard a lot of great insights from both of you. But what I'm curious to find out a little bit more, especially for many of our friends out there, what are the 3 key takeaways for us to take note of for the year of the water rabbit, 2023? Sam.
I know again what is on your mind and
Yeah, help me.
everyone mind.
You're like the mind reader, no?
Like, whether we prosper or not, it's, you know, Sam, is the ball is in your court now, right?
For you to prosper, just like my body shape itself, right? That is about profit that you want to manage. But before you talk about profit, you need to manage your risk. We are still in a market where so much volatility and market uncertainty that could be trading against you. When you take care of your risk, the profit will take care of itself. And importantly, also know what you are getting involved, the products. There are too many of these financial products in the market. Sometimes I might get even confused. So the best way to stay abreast of the market is that how our OCBC trading reps itself are only 24 hours, you know, and in fact not away from us, is that with us, you know, and they are only a phone call away from us. Do engage them, you know, to navigate the market risk together with you. And the last of all is what I always believe. Market is always right. Do not go against the trend. You know, if you are wrong, you will know that you need to quickly fine-tune your strategy, moving in line with the market.
I see. So if I'm hearing you right, keep a holistic view, do your homework. If you have no time to do your homework, talk to your trading strategists, talk to your trading reps about it. And the last one is, don't go against the market.
Be very frank with the market.
I see. But Helen, I mean, hearing what Sam has to say about concluding the year, looking forward to the year of the water rabbit, what is your take on that?
For the year of the water rabbit, I will focus on building brands, building relationship, and also focusing on self-development. I think it's very important because based on the last 3 years being the pandemic, it's caused a lot of, you know, stress, distress, you know, and, you know, people are basically, you know, learning to live a new life in that sense, right? So changes in the world inevitable, right? So I would personally feel that for those out there looking for a direction, maybe it's time to take stock, as in, like, you know, doing a bit of this reflection and deciding before you head on with any directions, you know, do some research and also start repairing relationships, you know, if you have not, because this is going to be a fantastic year. I promise you, if you set your tone right, you're not just going to win more friends, you're going to be so likable. So likable.
You can be as likable as both our friends over here.
Yeah, you know, yeah, so don't misuse your Tawayi. It's not just about romance, right? You know, this great networking is going to help you in so many ways, whether it's your career or developing new friendships and stuff like that.
Alright, thank you to our 2 very likable friends here, right here. We have Mr. Samuel Wong from OCBC Securities and Miss Helen Ong, our Fengshui master, who gave us incredible insights on how the market movements are like and what to look forward to in the year ahead. And of course, on behalf of OCBC Securities, I would like to wish everyone a very happy new year. 新年快乐，万事如意，一切安康。Thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you next year.